Why take one vacation with the family when you could take all of them? With Royal Caribbean, you don't just go to the beach. You visit a private island and race down the tallest water slide in North America. You don't just go for a road trip. You ATV and zip line through the jungle. You don't just go somewhere new. You rappel down waterfalls and discover ancient temples. Because this isn't just any vacation. This is all the vacations. Come seek the Royal Caribbean. Ships Registry, Bahamas.
Drink it in, man.
Deep left side carry on. Picks on the block. At the 5, at the 2, at the 1 to the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit Lions.
Drink it in, man.
Get up, Stafford throws. It is end zone. Caught! Oh, baby, what a catch! Kenny Galladay, you're a freak! What a catch! Touchdown, Detroit Lions! Cornbread!
I love the Lions! Say it with me! I love the Lions!
Drink it in, man.
Detroit Koolaid drinkers. We are here on a Friday. We had a really good show on Wednesday. Why? Because the Detroit Lions won a football game. We love talking about W's here on the show. We realize it's been a long time since the Lions got a W. But hey, went and beat the Arizona Cardinals in their house. Cardinals are flying high. Lions were struggling on defense, seemed to get it together, seemed to have effort, the scheme seemed to work. Offense did what they need to do, which is be consistent, put up points, sort of hang in there to the end and help win a game for the Detroit Lions. So had a real fun time with that show. Here on Friday, we're going to be talking about the Saints. We're going to be trying to make you laugh any way that we can. And one way we do that is we turn it over to Grifsky, the waffle maker, here on a Friday, and we say, hey, Grifka, how are you here on a Friday, buddy?
Oh, I am chilly. I mean, gosh, it's just fall's finally hit us. I mean, it's supposed to be like a low of 35 tonight. I might actually have to put the heater on in my place, which I don't want to do. But other than that, it's supposed to be like mid to low 50s this weekend. So it's a nice weekend to sit down and watch some football, watch Lions back to the 1 o'clock start. Get a nice big bowl of something warm, like probably chili or something like that as you watch the game. And, get some chicken wings and enjoy the weekend, TGIF. Thank God it's Friday.
All right, Griff. I hate to critique your intro, but that's kind of what I do on the show. So you started off your intro saying you were chilly, and then you mixed in that you should have chili, and then you always give me grief for not putting on my AC, but now you don't want to put on the heat. I'm just really confused, but I think overall, despite all those flubs that you did, I think you're probably on a Friday because it's TGIF and because the weather is going to be whatever you just said it was going to be, because you like to give the people the weather report. I think you're probably doing good. Am I right?
Yeah, I'm doing good.
All right, I think we covered all the bases, everybody. Let's go ahead and get into the show. Friday is when most of the time, not always, but most of the time, I turn it over to Grifka with a disclaimer saying, Grifka, don't ask me something from Lions 24/7. Don't get me all riled up. Don't ask me if I listen to the latest Calvin Johnson soliloquy with the DB. I mean, don't ask me about if Martha Ford bought a new pair of shades from the sunglasses. Don't get me all riled up. Let's talk football. But often he asks me something that does get me fired up. So I got no idea what he has, but I know it's Friday. I know I'm ready for anything. I know I'm ready to talk Lions. And I know that I'm ready to serve up that Detroit Kool-Aid right here on the show because we're trying to get 2 dubs in a row, Grifka, talking Saints. What do you got?
Drink it in, man.
This is, I thought like me and you drank the Kool-Aid, or you drank it a lot more than me, but some people are just kind of like going overboard. I mean, it's just, it's one game. They played well. They got the Saints coming in. But, some people are like talking again, maybe there's like playoffs and stuff like that, looking at the playoffs again. Can you see that with this team? I mean, thinking of getting the ship righted, or do we have to like see something, with them against the Saints?
Grifka, oh my goodness, people, see what I deal with here. First of all, you act like you're gonna throw out playoffs, like Jim Moore, like I've got the sound bite like ready to go or something. I mean, what do you think I am, Grifka? You just gonna throw out playoffs and think I'm gonna be able to like play the sound bit? Is that what you were going for?
Yeah, I was hoping.
Okay, I'll do it.
Playoffs? Don't talk about it. Playoffs? You kidding me? Playoffs?
Grifka, the reason people are talking playoffs is because we're only one game under 500. I mean, we're one win and two losses. We should have had a win against Chicago. Like, uh, the fact that you would start out the Friday show with this, asking why the people are going so crazy or why they're talking about playoffs.
Playoffs? Don't talk about it. Playoffs? You kidding me? Playoffs?
Grifka, the reason they're doing that is because on Wednesday and in general here on the podcast, I mean, I do this.
Drink it in, man.
I serve it up for the people, a little cornbread on the side.
Cornbread!
Well, that's why they're all fired up. We got a W. Defense is playing better. Offense looking good. We're getting healthier. We got Curse coming back. I don't know if Justin Coleman can return this week or the following week, but hopefully he gets back. True Font hopefully will be back pretty soon. I mean, that's why everybody's fired up. But for you to try to bring the show down and try to, first of all, that's a total Grifka move where he's like, oh, you know what I'll do? Because they won and because we had a fun show and because they're riding high, I'll bring up something that's like 4 months away and ask about that instead of doing what we should do. Grifka, go talk to Matt Pat. Maybe he'll give you a little lesson, maybe help you out a little bit. One game at a time, 1 week at a time, 1 day at a time. Nobody other than you and Jim Mora is talking about playoffs.
Playoffs? Don't talk about it. Playoffs? You kidding me? Playoffs?
Because we're not here to talk about that, Grifka. We're here to talk about the Saints, and the fans should be excited. We go get a W here and go get on a bye week and come back extra healthy, extra ready to go. There isn't no reason that we can't keep ripping off W's, but you got to take one game at a time. You have to just be that's what the NFL is all about. Next play, next week, with that opponent. That's all I'm worried about right now. I'm not worried about playoffs. I mean, you're over here talking about playoffs, Grifka. What else you got? Come on.
I thought you liked talking about the playoffs, but okay. I just wanted to bring that up for you, see what you thought about that.
I mean, I want to be in the playoffs, but it's week 4. I mean, we really got to go there now? I mean, what was that, a DB article that you read, or was that the Slouch that maybe put out, hey, let me put out a playoffs article. I'll get a bunch of clicks. Or are you trying to just talk about this week and try to get one more W so we can have more fun shows next week? I think that'd be more prudent if you ask Matt Patricia than worrying about what's going to happen 12 games from now.
Well, we'll need to know before. I think we'll need to know a little more before 12 games from now. So, yeah, I just was wondering. Like I said, people are kind of going overboard already, and I'm with you. One game at a time, and they got one W, and they got the Saints coming in. The Saints are still a pretty good team because they're 1-2 as well, but their quarterback. Everybody thought Drew Brees is always going to continue to put up the numbers, and like he never ages or anything like that. But it looks like he's starting to show a little bit of wear and tear as well. And at this point,
hold on. Again, I hate to stop you, but I can't let you not give the people what they want. And so if you're going to go on a mini rant about Drew Brees being older, or maybe not being able to throw the football more than 6 yards down the field, you know what you got to say about him, right?
Oh, that he's long in the tooth?
Oh, it's such a classic Grifka go-to. Hit Grifka up on Twitter, at GrifkaDKC, and let him know if you ever use long in the tooth ever in real life, in any situation, because nobody says that. Nobody.
Okay.
Grifka, hold on. I want to respond to about your take there, because you know what that whole question just does in general, or makes me think? It's simply this.
What the hell are you doing?
It also does this.
That drives me freaking bonkers.
Oh, Grifka, you're putting down Drew Brees, one of the greatest of all time. You're asking about playoffs. I mean, there's so many things I could go to there. But what else we got? Let's keep this moving.
My question for you is, I know we'll compare our two beloved quarterbacks, Drew Brees and Matt Stafford, as we break down the game. But at this point, if you had to choose between Matt Stafford and Drew Brees just for one game, you had to pick one to start, who would you pick and why?
Today, right now?
Yeah, today, right now. You needed a quarterback, and those are the two guys. You're picking your team, and that was your quarterback for one game. Who would you take and why?
Oh, the old Grifka one game disclaimer, so I can't use my dynasty abilities or my foresight.
I don't want to hear crap
just
about
have
who gets paid more and how it's going to affect the salary cap. And I don't want to hear that garbage. It's one game, backyard football, and you need a quarterback. That's what I want, and I want to know why.
All right. Well, one thing I had, I'm sure we'll get to it later as well, is everybody being down on Drew Brees, I think is a big mistake. I mean, yeah, I've watched him too, and he hasn't thrown the football 50 yards down the field, and that's because he hasn't had Mike Thomas, the best receiver in the game. I mean, he's still throwing the ball accurately, he's still able to run every play in the arsenal, so I still think he's a really good player overall, and I think he's going to do some major damage against the Lions, at Ford Field. But, I mean, if I got to take one guy for right now, I mean, you know what I'm going to do.
Drink it in, man.
Stafford!
I mean, I'll go with Stafford because I like the Stafford with moxie, though. And I still feel like this season has been a little bit, I don't see him firing people up on the side. I feel like he's still the guy when everything's going well. He's got the mojo. When it's not, he's a little robotic. So, I mean, I'll take Stafford based on his arm strength, his ability to make every throw, some of the quiet leadership and stuff that he has. But that's a tough one for me in one game with all the chips down because Drew Brees, I mean, gosh, it's weird how people turned on the guy so quick. They act like he's Mitch or something out there. I mean, this is still Drew Brees. He's a surgeon out there on the field, just absolute killer, when it comes to being a quarterback. Okay, he's had a couple down games, big deal. But give me Matt Stafford in a one-game backyard football game because I know I can just cut you up on crossing routes and throw the ball 60 yards down the field, and everybody knows you ain't covering anybody past 3 yards. So give me Matt Stafford.
Okay. I'll take Drew Brees just to be different with you, and that people can argue with me on Twitter at GriffKidDKC, tell me I was wrong. But nope, I'll take Drew Brees. Guy can chuck it around. His arm might be a little old, but he's the old crafty veteran. He knows how to win. So I'll take him.
Before you get to one of your other just mind-blowing, amazing questions, let me throw this at you. This is something I want to hear what you think about it. So the way that I look at the NFL, even when I do my articles for USA Today, Lions Wire, I do a fantasy article, drops on Thursday mornings. Anybody want to check it out? I'm not a big guy that will dive into all the stats, numbers, analytics. But one thing I do believe in, Grifsky, you know what that is?
What's that?
That's the old up-down theory, Grifka. When I'm telling you who I think you should put in the game, half the time what I'm doing is sort of thinking who's really talented, who's a big player on that football team, and also who's a guy that fits those categories that hasn't balled out the last couple weeks. Because I feel like the NFL is much more of a, hey, this guy is really good, but he got locked up last week, so let's feature him. Hey, this guy balled out last week, so let's go to somebody else because we know they're going to just roll coverage there. I'm big on the up-down theory, Grifka. I feel like when you're hot, you got to watch out for an L against somebody you shouldn't. When you're down, you can come up and sneak up or beat somebody if you play decent football. I really think that's a big thing, and that's what makes this game so interesting against Lions and Saints because everybody has written the Saints down. They were everybody's Super Bowl favorite. Now, oh man, they're 1-2. Oh my gosh, the sky is falling. Sounds a little bit like the waffle maker. I'm here to tell you they're dangerous coming in here, only 1-2, and getting Mike can't guard Mike back as well as just coming off the carpet, and the Lions coming off a win, better be ready to roll because that's the time where you can just get sniped or get blown out or not play your best football. So up-down theory, people, watch it. Happens every week in the NFL. Guys that aren't playing well ball out. Guys that played great don't show up. I mean, guys that have been healthy a lot get injured. Guys that are always injury prone will have a great stint with no injuries. It just happens all day, every day. So there it is, Grifka. I've given you my secret, the old up-down theory. What do you think?
The up-down theory sounds like an awesome way to work out. It's also called burpees. They're wonderful things for working every muscle in your body and getting your heart rate up. All they do is tire you out, like everything up.
Oh my gosh, Grifka, the workout warrior, everybody didn't hear a word I said, just thought about when he's going to run at 3 in the morning or whenever you get up to actually run a couple miles there, buddy. But yeah, I'm here to tell
4:30,
you,
sir.
we're not
That's
talking
4:30.
burpees. We're talking with the Lions better watch out, and people better recognize that the New Orleans Saints are still a hell of a football team. So there it is.
Cool. Let's do this. Let's take a pause for the cost, pay some bills, and then we'll come back and break down this game a little more, talk about some of the key people that'll have to play well for the Lions.
Grifka, I'm not ready for a break yet. I want some more stuff. What else you got for me? We're not taking a break right now. What else you got?
Okay. Well, I was going to bring this up in the next segment because the Lions are getting 3 key people back this week. They're eligible to come back.
Who's that?
J-Ron Curse is back, Bo Scarborough, and the windsock, Mike Ford. Do you see any of these guys playing a big role in this game for the Lions to come out with a big W?
Grifka, isn't the windsock done for the year, or he's only on 3 weeks?
No, he's eligible to come back this week.
Are you sure?
Yep.
You're quite for sure?
Uh-huh. I'm not. No, I'm very for sure. I'm not quite for sure. I'm very for sure.
Oh no, I was happy when I saw. I thought it was IR for the year. I actually celebrated that when the windsock went down.
Nope, he's on that short list IR. It's like
no.
you may be hurt. Why don't you go work on the abs so you look like a windsock a little more when you run. But nope, he's eligible to come back.
Gosh, I hate Mike Ford, and it's kind of because I think the Lions love Mike Ford. They think he's just this hard worker, this determined guy, yet he's always 3 steps behind in coverage. So I don't like him because he mimics a lot of our other cornerbacks that I'm getting frustrated with that are 3 to 4 steps behind in coverage. But Curse could be interesting. I feel like people are kind of blowing him up, saying like, oh, Curse coming back, look out. I mean, Will Harris never going to see the field anymore. Like, I don't know that Curse. I think he's a hard-nosed guy. He's kind of like, the grave digger, Grifka. You know who that was, right?
Oh, yep. Ahead of Bo.
Oh, head of Bo,
Wasn't that
absolutely. That's kind of who he reminds me of. But, I mean, I think he could help. I think he's going to be more of a special teamer as well as a guy that they'll have packages for. But it's not some primetime safety that we're getting back. But, I mean, he's put out some tweets kind of beating up the team those first 2 weeks, so he doesn't like losing, and I think he can bring some things to the table. And then who's the other one? Bo knows?
Yeah, Bo's back.
I mean,
Bo Scarborough.
gosh, I don't know what to think about our running backs. I had to go on a big rant on Wednesday about, hey, I'm glad we won, but where's my boy DeAndre Swift? He doesn't even see the field. He's just holding Gatorade bottles for people nowadays. That's his main task, I guess, on the football team. So I don't know, man. I hope that you were smart enough to have given up on your boy Ty Johnson at this point, because I don't think he dressed last week. I don't care if he can push a Jeep or if he has a really good haircut. He just seems like an absolute wasted draft pick again. You've got Bo, who everybody loved last year, but that's before we got Adrian Peterson. So between him and Swift, and then Carry-On's blocking left tackle snaps that he's going to get, I don't know where Bo fits in, if he'd even be dressed at this point. So I don't think those 3 are huge. I think Curse is the biggest guy to come back, and then Justin Coleman is a guy that I'd like to get back, even though he didn't start the year very good. Again, I don't know, 3 steps behind in coverage. Tell me if you've heard that before. But I would like to get Coleman back, just another body. But Trufont's my guy. If Trufant comes back, I think between him and Okudah continuing to get more comfortable, I mean, I'd like to see better things from them. What's your take on Okudah? I didn't really ask you outright. I mean, he really seemed to get sliced up, but then obviously he made a play, and a lot of people are giving him a free pass, sort of, because, oh, he's got to learn, or, oh, he did okay. It's like, he was the 3rd overall pick. Last time I checked, we had guys that can play, 20 yards off and let people catch balls in front of them. Do you have bigger expectations, or do you think he played well, or where are you at with the number 3 overall pick, Jeff Okudah, out of, well,
I think he played okay. I mean, once again, playing cornerback in the NFL is one of the toughest spots to transition from college to the pros. So I think the guy needs a little more time. I realized, once again, Kyler Murray was, he's a great athlete, but did Jeff Okudah look like total, cement feet when Kyler Murray was out in front of him and he just kind of gave him a little shimmy shank to scamper him for the touchdown? But I think he played pretty well. I was very happy that he got the interception. Maybe that could get a few people off his back, but I still think he has a lot to learn. I mean, he's obviously not Deion Sanders, and I think we all figured that out.
Yeah, I guess where I'm at with him is like I not only had higher expectations, but some of this, he subbed himself out. It seemed like Matt Patricia wasn't very happy about that. He seems to have a little something in him where, he's a professional athlete. He's like the best corner in college football. Like he shouldn't be getting tired per se. He shouldn't be having mental lapses. I mean, there were times against DeAndre Hopkins. I get it, it's DeAndre Hopkins, but there's times where he's just loafing over there. It feels like just trying to, hey, if he catches a 16-yard ball in front of me, hey, at least I didn't get burnt deep. It's like, yeah, but it's a 16-yard ball that you were nowhere even in the screen for. Like, I'd like to see you get up and get grimy and press coverage and be in his hip pocket or, be just a little bit more sticky across the full game film. I feel like a lot of the game you were nowhere in the screen, and then all of a sudden you make a play, which again, a great play. I love the run back as well. The run back just seemed like, oh man, got up, got going, got some blocks, even did a nice somersault out of bounds, which looked athletic, and then just had a little swagger to him. So I liked all that, but I guess I just have higher expectations and want to hold him to a higher level because of what he did in college and where he was drafted, and the fact the Lions don't need another mid-lower end corner. We need an elite corner, a guy that's better than Slay was, a guy that can just go out there and man up and say, man, you better not throw it this way. And I think he'll get there, but I think it's taking longer than I'd like. Even though it's only game 3, it's just like I haven't seen the consistency or the elite flashes where it's like, oh man, in like 3 games, this guy's going to be a lockdown guy. Like, I don't see that yet, but I still think that's definitely where I see him in the future or his ceiling. Lions need it, man. We need elite corner that we don't pay any money to, that is tackler and doesn't say stuff off the field. We need that.
Okay, I really like your take there, Derek. I agree with it.
That's a shot at your boy Slay too, just in case you're wondering. I know he shook his hand, but he talked too much off the field and didn't tackle, wasn't very grimy. So I think Okudah can be better than him in all those categories. But the on the field play needs to step up for number 30.
And let's all try to forget big play Slay from now on. He's on a team that's 0. Was it 2-1? I mean, they tied Cincinnati for Pete's sake at home. Okay, so obviously he hasn't transitioned well to Philadelphia.
Well, what does Slay care?
You want to take a break now, or you want to keep going?
What does Slay care? He got paid, and he doesn't have to practice hard. Nobody yells at him. He does whatever he wants, and they lose football games, so he doesn't care. It still clears, on Wednesday, at the pay window. Speaking of that, Griff, you want to take a break and pay some bills now? Now I'll allow it if you'd like to do it.
Yeah, because I was so interested in your take on Mike Ford to see what he could do to help out this team.
All right, everybody, we'll take a quick break. We'll be right back.
Why take one vacation with the family when you could take all of them? With Royal Caribbean, you don't just go to the beach. You visit a private island and race down the tallest water slide in North America. You don't just go for a road trip. You ATV and zip line through the jungle. You don't just go somewhere new. You rappel down waterfalls and discover ancient temples. Because this isn't just any vacation. This is all the vacations. Come seek the Royal Caribbean. Ships Registry, Bahamas.
Detroit Koolaid. Detroit Koolaid drinkers. Me and the one and only @GriffCutDKC on Twitter are here. I'm back on the show. Thank you so much for listening. Lions coming off a big win. Share this with a friend. Tell them about it. I know we've had some new people catching on to the show week after week, which is great. We love doing it. We see the numbers going up all the time, which is fun. Griffka, I didn't allow you to take a break earlier. Probably because I want to see if you got more than 3-4 questions that you copy and pasted off of Lions 24/7 to ask me. Let's fill up the back half of the show and entertain the people. What do you got?
Well, I mean, we got the Saints coming into Ford Field on Sunday, so I want to talk to you about a few guys that we'll have to worry about, and who needs to have a big game for the Lions to come out with a W against the vaunted New Orleans Saints. I know I brought him up in the first half of the segment, Drew Brees, so I don't want to talk about him first. I want to talk about Alvin Kamara. And we all saw that nice catch and run that he had against, the awesome Green Bay Packers defense, on Sunday night. But still, I mean, the guy's damn good. So what do the Lions have to do to, either slow him down or try to bottle him up?
Griffith, here on a Friday, often before I get to your question, I have a little side question or side anecdote, and I definitely got one here on Alvin Kamara. And that's, please tell me you saw my tweet, or if you didn't see my tweet, you saw his teeth after the run. I mean, dude's got diamond encrusted teeth. Please tell me you saw that.
Yeah, I mean, that's nice.
Grifka, are you about to get those set up with you, or you probably ordered those already, didn't you? I mean, I could see you rocking
I was looking for
diamond
the
teeth.
cubic zirconium version of those, because I don't make his type of money. I don't make Derek Oakley money. I had to return some bottles just so I get the cubic zirconia.
Oh my gosh, that blew my mind. I was sitting there and they showed it slow motion. I'm like, does dude have diamond teeth? Like, what is going on right now? And I searched it on YouTube. I had to pull him up on Google, and I'm like, dude's got some diamond teeth. This is ridiculous. I never seen anything like this before, so had to put it out. But yeah, man, he's a heck of a football player. I mean, it's a close tie between his football skills and his teeth. That's for sure. I mean, the both are incredible at this point, I would say. But yeah, his run was great. He's an absolute nightmare. I mean, the more I see DeAndre Swift, man, I've yelled at the TV a couple times that he's our Alvin Kamara, man. He's our guy that just silky smooth, get him the ball in space, let him. I mean, Swift is even a little bit thicker, in the bottom part of his legs and body than Kamara is, and like, I don't know. He's really good. I mean, I think the Lions are going to have trouble with him when it comes to our linebackers. It's a gimmick that you go to every week on the show. I got some call outs here, Grifka, that I want to do. I might as well get these in now because it's pertinent. One of my call outs, Grifka, is Jelani Tavai. I know you like to call him the poor man's Chris Spielman. I know I tried to justify the pick high in the second round out of Hawaii. But Grifka, I've come to the realization that Jelani Tavai is not good at football. I mean, he may try hard. He may be some type of leader. He may be a guy that can learn every spot on the linebacker core. But every week I watch him, he's slow as dirt. He can't, even when he gets the ball, I don't see him making big tackles or impact plays. He can't rush other than run into the other offensive linemen. Like, Jelani Tavai, prove me wrong if you want, but I think I've seen enough already where it's like, I know that you're really, well, how would I put it, Grifka? If he's not good and he's not amazing.
Yeah, he ain't that great.
Jelani Tavai ain't that great, everybody. I'm sorry to tell you. So, Lions, please stop doing this, which I've seen multiple times the past couple weeks. Stop lining up Jelani Tavai and Jared Davis on like the other team's electric either tight end or running back. That's why we have guys like, I don't know, Tracy Walker, Jamie Collins, even Will Harris. I'll put on those guys before you just split someone out far left and all of a sudden number 51 goes out and tries to cover him, because Jelani Tavai has got to get way better very quickly, because I've pretty much just given up or tipped my cap that that's another missed high pick. I don't see how he helps the team, and him, Jared Davis, basically anybody else in this line is going to get ate up by Alvin Kamara here on Sunday. So they better have a plan on how to bottle him up. My plan would be to man up Tracy and Jamie Collins on him all day, every day, and just try to beat him up literally so that he can't make plays, because if he gets his hands on the football, it's gonna be trouble.
Yeah, he's like I said, he just damn good, and he's got a lot of speed. He's got the quicks. There's nobody on that linebacking core that's going to be able to keep up with him and cover him. I don't know who. I don't even know in that defensive backfield who you're going to be able to put on him if he like splits out or even comes out, just runs a basic wheel route out of the backfield. So he fits that offense really well, and it seems like Drew Brees finds him, when he needs to. He's going to be a tough guy to stop for the Lions this week. So, and like I said, there's just not enough speed on that linebacking core to have anybody cover him. So
Grifka, I hate to do it to you, but your take that Alvin Kamara is damn good has got to receive this.
It's like, duh. It's like, duh. It's like, duh.
He's incredible, and he's the new age running back, man. Like in fantasy football, I'm not trying to get the big bruiser that runs 2 yards in a cloud of dust. I want Kamara, Eckler, Miles Sanders, these guys that can catch it more so even than run it, and he's the best in the game at that. So yeah, he's damn good, no doubt about it.
Yep. What about? I know he didn't play last week. What about Michael Thomas? If he's back? Who do you think will be shadowing him, or you think maybe they just play a little more zone like they did against Arizona, or do they put Okudah against Thomas? How do the Lions slow down him?
That's Can't Guard Mike on Twitter, Grifka, and there's no way to deal with this guy. He's the best in the game. They feed him the football 10, 12 plus times a game. It doesn't matter who you put on him, he's going to get his. Of course, this is Grifka logic where, of course, Mike Thomas is hurt until the Lions play him. And then he comes back and eats us up for 150 and 2 touchdowns. I think the Matt Pat scheme is going to be exactly what you hinted at. Hey, Okudah, D him up all over the field. Don't give up anything up over the top. Make sure you tackle. Make sure you're a little more aggressive than you have been. Don't come out and try to tap your helmet. Tell me you're tired. Get the hell back out there and guard him up again. And try to make other people beat us. And if you can do that, I think you have a chance to win the football game. But you can't let this guy go crazy. Hop had a bunch of good numbers, but it didn't lead to touchdowns or game-changing plays. And you pretty much got to try to replicate that as best you can. I think it's going to be tough, though. If he's healthy, he'll come out and try to just eat us up for, like I said, 150 plus and a couple scores. You got to hold him under that to have a chance.
Okay. What about, once again, I'm just going to bring him up now, Drew Brees. Obviously, a wily veteran. He's seen everything. They're not going to be able to trick him. Is that one of those things where the Lions need to bring more pressure? Or are they going to try to do one of those sit back in the zone, make him make all the throws? What do you think the Lions defense needs to do here?
I just made a little bullet point before we got rolling that I think Drew Brees is going to just carve us up with all his little short dink and dunks. I think he'll hit us over the top a couple times. I think it's going to be a back and forth offensive game once again. And again, I don't care if Drew Brees doesn't have a rocket arm. He never has since he blew out his shoulder in San Diego back in the day. He can sling it around. He's pinpoint accurate. He has enough playmakers to get the football out to people. Him and Sean Payton are probably the best 1-2 duo in the game the last decade or so when it comes to scheme, offense, dialing up stuff. I would even expect Taysom Hill to give us some trouble with some of his crazy plays where he comes in and runs the football or throws it or has a couple gadget plays. So the quarterback is a big problem, in my opinion, for the Lions. I'm not buying into this rumor innuendo that, the Lions are going to be great against Drew Brees because he isn't have the cannon that he used to. He's never had a cannon. He's short, but he ain't no Kyler Murray back there. And he's a hell of a quarterback. So I think he's a problem. I think he's going to come in really determined. And he's come in and lit us up before, whether it be in Ford Field or in the playoffs at his home stadium. It's a big issue for me. So I expect a big game from Drew Brees, and hopefully Matt Stafford can answer that and play great too.
Okay. What do you think the Lions offense needs to do? What weaknesses do you see on this New Orleans Saints defense that you think they can exploit?
What was it? Sorry, lost you there.
The offense. What do you think they need to do? What weaknesses do the New Orleans Saints defense have that the Lions offense can exploit?
Oh man, one thing I I barely got a couple bullets here because we turn on the mics and have fun here on the show, but I kind of jotted down, man, the Lions offense is deep and diverse, and that's really what you want. I know there's a lot of teams out there, you hear a lot of people beat up the Lions. Oh man, the Lions don't have any, Grifka, they don't have any Hall of Famers. Oh, they don't have any blue chip. They don't have anybody that's in the Pro Bowl. It's like, you know what they do have, Grifka? You know what they do have?
Stafford.
Of course, they got him at quarterback.
Stafford!
But they got him. They got Marv. They got Kenny, Danny, Hawkinson, DeAndre Swift, Adrian. Wait for it. Peterson. Uh, they've got weapons everywhere, and last time I checked, Grifka, they got a good left tackle, a good center, and some guys on the interior, a rookie that's doing some good things. So the Lions are deep, they're diverse, they can beat you in a lot of different ways. The things they need to be a little bit better at is be a little more aggressive. I was also writing some friends saying, oh my goodness, look at what Andy Reid is doing. He's just pulling out plays out of his backside that are unbelievable. And people are like, well, look at all the speed he has. Look at all the plays. It's just like his creativity and his aggressiveness is off the chain in Kansas City. And like, I know Darrell Bevell's I want to establish the run, or let's play good consistent football, but you can't always just spread it out. You got to catch people by surprise, which again, we said on the show we loved when he would break out the crazy plays. Those seemed to work last year. We haven't seen any this year, so this seems like a great week before the bye to dial one or two up. But he's just got to be a little more aggressive by feeding Hawkinson, by surprising people with Agnew and some of these other guys that are out there. And I just don't see it. I don't see the aggressiveness or the creativity, but I love our diversity, and I love the fact that Matt Stafford can drop back and just literally throw it to who's ever open instead of trying to feed players, the old Grifka gimmick. Oh, there's only one football. Yep, there's only one football in Detroit, and it goes to the guy that's open. It doesn't go to the guy that's going to be crying in his chicken wings about how many balls he got, or how many touches, or how much his contract is worth. Nobody cares about all that, man. Just get the ball to Kenny, Swift, Hawk, and Marv and Danny, and all those guys complement them really well. So I love the Lions offense. I just want to see a little bit more from them because they're so diverse, so skilled.
Okay. Who do you think will have the big game for Detroit this weekend on offense? Offense, wide receiver wise, running back wise.
I don't know. I felt like this is the last game. I felt like the Lions do what the Lions do, which is they got Kenny out there and he did get the touchdown, but you didn't see him early on in the football game. A little cautious again about injuries, so I don't know they're going to open him up yet. So, one guy they featured early in the season in regards to looks or touches, and he hasn't got many recently, Grifka, so you know what that means. Dial him up. Up down theory, baby. I could see a certain rookie named Quintez Cephas making a play or two in this ball game, and maybe finding the end zone as well. So keep your eye on him. Everybody, the opposite of the up down theory is Jesse James, the outlaw. I mean, he had his one moment in the sun. He'll be gone for the rest of the year, just blocking or being a waste of space out there. So expect him to go down after his one up game. But let's get my boy Swift. Let's get 32 the football. Let's get him out there, spread out this defense. I mean, give them some headaches, some things to think about. I would love that more so than just plodding away with AP, or trying to nickel and dime all day long. I mean, yeah, you still got to protect the football, but like, get Swift in some pass routes. Find Cephas when they're not expecting it, and you just gotta love Marvin's game. He comes up clutch at the end of the game. It might be one of those games where you feed him up over the top too. He hasn't got any of his deep catches or big touchdown games, so maybe you see 2 TDs from Marv as well.
Okay. Let's do this final question. You had a big cup of Kool-Aid coming off big W against the Cardinals. How do you see this game falling?
Oh, prediction time, Grifka. Gosh, I really didn't even think about a score prediction. I know you like to go to that every time on a Friday. Gosh, I think it's going to be tough. Like I say, up down theory, as well as just the Saints are going to be not only mad, but they always scheme up nice stuff when they need it. So, I mean, I see this game a little bit of an offensive shootout. Hopefully the Lions defense still plays, similar to how they played in Arizona. I could see a little bit of a step back from the defense. So I'm thinking 28 to 27.
Drink it in, man.
Give me the Lions, Grifka, by 1 at home before the bye week.
Okay. Let's see, right now I believe the line is the Lions are 4-point dog at home, and they're 1-2. Saints are 1-2. One thing I think the Lions have going for them in this game, if the refs hold out like they should, is that New Orleans Saints they're getting penalized a lot. Last year they got penalized a bit. So far this year they're getting penalized a bit. We also have a couple of the cheap ones that Green Bay got because it was Green Bay and they always get calls even if it's in the Superdome. Still though, I mean, that's one thing New Orleans defense does. They do take some penalties. So I think the Lions, they might have a couple things where it keeps drives alive, where the Lions are able to go down and score. It's going to have to be another one of those games where, like you said, it's got to be a shootout because no matter how much New Orleans doesn't seem to have that offense is going to be like, okay, we're going to hold the ball and just have like these long drives. They seem to be that quick score, go down, and it doesn't matter when they're going to score. Nobody's going to be like, oh, we got to wait for our defense to try to hold them. You can't score too early or anything like that. It's like, fine, go ahead, we'll score. If you score on defense, we're just going to go down and score again. And so I think the Lions are going to have that mentality this week that they're going to have to take some chances again, because I don't think their defense is going to be able to hold them down, and they're going to have to throw up some points. So, gosh, I know when we did the preseason picks, I think I took this one as a loss. But, yeah, I think they're feeling a little good right now. I think you put something in my Kool-Aid. So, yeah, I'm going to take the Lions in this one as well. But I think I'm going to take this one as a 31-27 Detroit victory.
Woo! You heard it here first, everybody. Let me fill you up again, Grifka, before we close out the show.
Drink it in, man.
Side of cornbread for the waffle maker.
Cornbread!
Grifka, you're predicting a W when everybody knows that you were never going to predict a W, so that's a good thing here on a Friday. I mean, we've had a couple fun shows this week. We're coming off a W. We want the Lions to keep this momentum going. Play some good football on Sunday. I mean, should be interesting. Can't wait to watch it. Grifka, there's only one thing left to do. And I don't know if today's the day. I don't want to put any pressure on you. I mean, I've been doing the show for 2.5 years, whatever it's been now, and I ask you this every show. There hasn't been a time, I don't believe. Well, I think on the Bizarro show where up was down and left was right, you had a little something for the people. But I mean, again, I got to check every week. I want to make sure you don't have something stupendous, tremendous, off the charts, just earth-shattering. Maybe you just have something that's going to blow the people's mind. I mean, I just don't know. So at the end of every show, I got to just simply say this. Grifka, do you have anything else for the people?
Nope.
Oh my goodness. Everybody, if you've been listening for a long time, that should be funny. If this is your first time, you probably think, why is that funny? I don't know, but it's just funny. So everybody, drink that Detroit Kool-Aid, bake up some cornbread. We are playing at home, Ford Field, against the New Orleans Saints. We're coming off a win. We want to stack it up, get another one. Should be really fun to watch our team play. Hopefully they can get it together. Pat, let's go out and scheme up a W and make this happen. Matt Stafford, I expect another big game. Offense, let's get it done. Defense, hold your water, and let's do this thing. So everybody, drink that Detroit Kool-Aid. We'll catch you next week right here, Wednesday and Friday on the Detroit Koolaid Cast. Take care, everybody. We are out.
Pack the bag, start the plane. This game is over. It is over. What a comeback by the Lions.
Drink it in, man.